And I'll record it, so if you want to hear this again tonight, it'll be on the website. Okay. Why did she fail her biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch? What if somebody fails my surgery? Like Doris, I'm going to introduce you to. Am I allowed to introduce you, Doris? Doris had surgery with me 3 years ago. Initially lost a total of 100 pounds, around 100, and gained back 30. So why did she fail my surgery? Why are people heavy in the first place? And what's the history of other kinds of weight loss surgery? And is the weight loss surgery just a tool? Okay, so I'd like to touch on all those. First of all, I'm going to begin with why people are heavy in the first place. Why are people heavy?
You eat too much.
Yeah. And that's right, because, obesity is pretty simple. It's just calories in and calories out, right? And therefore, if you want to lose weight, all you have to do is you can leave this seminar right now, because it's really simple. You eat less and exercise more, period. And if you don't do that, there's something wrong with you. You lack willpower. You lack personal character. Your mama didn't like you best. And so you have sadness because you're missing out on the mother's love that you never got, and now you eat pie to replace the love that mother never gave you. And if you meet with me twice a week and we talk about the sadness inside until you can let the inner child heal. Have you heard this? Yeah, right. You're just not very bright. You don't understand that ice cream is bad for you. Have you heard all those explanations? Why don't you put them aside for a second? And what if instead the explanation for obesity was a lot simpler? That when God created heaven and earth, He made a hunger hormone in rats, cats, bats, people, all the rest of us. And the hunger hormone is called ghrelin, G-H-R-E-L-I-N, ghrelin, a hunger hormone. And if it's in perfect balance, then you eat the right amount, because the hunger hormone tells you to be hungry until you're not. And if you have too much of the ghrelin, if it's out of balance, you overeat and you're heavy. And it has nothing to do with whether mama liked you best, whether you're a good character or a bad character, or whether have other kind of issues, or whether you're bright or not that bright. It's a pure hormonal abnormality. In fact, I'm oversimplifying it, because there's another opposite hormone called peptide YY, which makes you feel full. So there's a hunger hormone, ghrelin, and there's an I'm full hormone called peptide YY, and if they're in balance, you're thin and healthy and exactly right. And you can go to all the psychiatric counseling sessions you want to, and it's unlikely, in my opinion, that you will recover and get thin, because you can't, by psychiatric counseling, affect ghrelin or peptide YY.
Is there a pill that balances?
Every drug company in the world is working at this moment on anti-ghrelin. They are working in every lab, day and night, because if they came out with that, you'd be rich beyond their wildest dreams. Probably they'd make more money than Exxon. Well, I don't know, that'd be hard. Okay, so that's the explanation for obesity. Now let's go back to our patient. Can I ask your first name?
Sure, Nancy.
Let's go to Nancy now. Now, Nancy had a biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch, the most powerful weight loss surgery that we know of, and she failed. And we could say it's a tool. She didn't use the tool. She didn't grow up. Mama didn't like her best and all the rest of that. But I would argue that her ghrelin and peptide YY and the mechanics, the physiology, the plumbing in her was not powerful enough to overcome the abnormalities. So she is not to blame. We should, I think, blame the surgery. And in fact, the history of weight loss surgery is one that's a very checkered past. It's filled with weight loss surgery failures, and many times the surgeon turns to the patient and blames them. The surgeon says, I'm a good surgeon, I have done a good surgery, and if you return to me and you haven't succeeded, that means you haven't followed my rules. And we'd like to erase that from your memory. We don't want you to think that way. My opinion is if you fail the surgery has failed you. That's my opinion.
I like that opinion.
Yeah. Now, the question then becomes, with a biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch, what can be done to help you? We could say, well, you need to go on a diet and exercise program. We could say that, couldn't we? Like, you need to use your tool better. I'm not going to say that. I think we all should exercise more, but I don't think you'll get massive weight loss from diet and exercise. I think we all should eat a healthy diet and we should all exercise, but the research in thousands of diet and exercise studies doesn't show very much success. Have you tried diet and exercise?
Yes.
Have you tried diet and exercise? Have you tried diet and exercise? Have you tried diet? Everyone has, right? Haven't we all?
Yes.
Has it worked? No. Because you're bad. No. It's because to get diet and exercise to work, you have to put in somewhere between 4 to 6 hours of exercise a day to get massive weight loss. Now, even if you can do small exercise amounts, that's good, but you don't get excellent weight loss unless you have the time and effort to put in many hours of exercise every day. And most of us in our jobs don't have that kind of exercise or physical labor. This is about all the exercise I do during the day. You know, if I get excited about a question. Because otherwise my surgery is like this, right? What can be done? Could we take the stoma fix and sew your stoma? Tight, narrow connections in stomas. Hey, gorgeous. Tight, narrow stomas don't usually get massive weight loss by themselves. I would be skeptical that it's going to be really helpful for you. And if I could, I'd like to talk to you privately later to see if there's something that can be done, because you kind of have a complex issue. Is that enough for now?
That's enough.
Do you mind?
So I've got a little light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, I think if you want to think about it, you know how your stomach is in there. You know how your connection is. And there are some issues in there related to ghrelin and peptide YY, the length of the bypass, the hypertrophy of the lining of the intestine, the size of the stomach, a bunch of things that we can look at. It's tough, though, to modify a biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch. If you were to call up all the biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch doctors and say, hey, would you do a revision? 99% of them would say no. They don't revise BPDs. On the other hand, one of the neat things about the mini-gastric bypass is if you call me up and say, I want a revision of my mini-gastric bypass, I say, sure. It'll take, how long was your surgery? 50 minutes?
48 minutes.
48 minutes.
First time was 26.
First one was 26 and a revision was 48. So revisions for MGB, we do it anytime, easy to do. We apologize to Doris that we failed her. We didn't get her all the weight loss we wanted. On the other hand, revision MGB, boop. She had a revision with us. Now, Doris, is it okay to mention how old you are? She's not 25. She's just over 35. Is it okay to say 70? Yes. Okay. So she had a revision of her MGB on Wednesday. She's here from Canada, and here she is at the seminar on Saturday.
Yay, Doris.